All right. We are unlocked now. Higher difficulties have stricter requirements before you can access them. Because I might as well be reading this in my narrator voice. And of course, the spoils of war will be greater in harder difficulties, as long as you can win. Okay, requirements not met. So they're not even... So you just have to beat normal before you can jump into hard. Guess that's fine. 4 million plus required. Noted. Yeah, we are at... Let me see. 5.7, yep. All right, let's get in here and see what's good. All right. Sectors. On the left, you can access sectors, which unlock in sequence. On the right, you have helpful information related to your progress in the event. At the end of each sector, you'll have to defeat the boss before you can move on to the next sector. Tap on the info button to see the boss squad and more information about the enemies you'll face. And as you see, we did start with full energy. Take a look at what challenges await you. Once you're ready, select commit, unless you're afraid of the challenge. Alright, difficulty normal. Okay. 0 to 20% stat bonuses. Yeah, that's for sure. 2 million. You have to be level 85, but I'll be interested to see what we can do with low-geared teams here. All right. Gear 13 with 20 to 60% stat bonuses. 30 to 70. Okay. So you get to see the teams you're going up against. All right. There's Zetas and everything. It makes sense that they'd be fully Zeta'd. Interesting that they're marked as Boss, Elite, Elite. Very interesting. Yeah, I know, right? And JML at the end here. All right. Well, that's going to be interesting. Yeah, I'm not sure what that's about. So, you've got boss, and then the first two are elites, and then the last two are normal, whatever that means. All right, we have event feats over here. Okay, live in light. 35 battles with a squad of all light side units, and then dark side units. So these seem like they're going to be standard feats. Bunch of critical hits. Okay, 400 enemies seems... I'm not really sure why that's a feat. 10 battles with no tanks. That's an interesting one. All right. And then we see what our reward is over here. And all of them are just 9 keycards. Okay. Yeah, the last sectors really could be difficult. I'm very interested to see how this goes. All right, and here's our reward crates. The more Conquest keycards you get, the better the rewards will be at the end of the event. There are even some spoils of war that you'll be able to get immediately. Get keycards by being victorious in combat and completing feats. They're event, sector, and boss feats, so you'll want to complete as many as possible to earn the best rewards. Correct. That's what they've said, is that the boss battles in the last sector on hard mode will be Relic 8. All right. Rewards sent via inbox at the end of the event. I don't particularly like that you have to wait 2 weeks to get rewards, but whatever. They're going towards that. I'm not really sure why they're going towards that. But at least there are some immediate rewards. These seem to be the immediate rewards. Yeah, because here's your crate that you'll get. Okay, that's not bad. All right, and this isn't bad for just being a reward crate on normal and this is the first one you get. Okay. So as far as I can tell, you get 2 of these, 1 of these. Let's keep moving on. What's the next one? Okay, 2 of those. Jeez, my mouse is freaking out. 1 of those, and all right. That's not bad. And some... Yeah, all right. Yeah, I think the general goal that or the strategy I'm going to start with is going to be using my lower, really the most efficient squads that I can. So you want to have efficient counters so that you're using the lowest possible team that you can. But yeah, these rewards are actually looking very good so far. I mean, you only get them once a month, but that's not bad. Gear 12 plus pieces. I mean, these are kind of equivalent to raid rewards here when you consider stacking these. Right, and I'm actually really hoping that that's one of the advantages of doing this, is that large, like, wide accounts will get some benefit out of that. Okay, and 25 injectors here. Yeah, these are very good rewards. And this is normal. Okay, let's jump all the way to the end here and see what's in the last one. So here's our 20 Razor Crest shards. Okay. So you're going to get 50 injector pieces. Okay, so now with the way that this is set up, are these going to stack, or are you only going to get the highest one? This must just be the highest one, because this is an awful lot of rewards if they stacked. So I have to assume that this is going to be highest. Okay. Still, good rewards. Yeah. Yeah, I have to assume that's the case. And then the rest of it's going to be about what you can buy with these Conquest credits, which they've already previewed that to a certain extent. Hey, Gym Shoes, how are you doing? Okay. Well, let's... okay, we've got one more thing here, the Conquest store. And we're going to see what's actually available right now. Why is... I would have assumed that you could at least do that, but maybe you can't even spend crystals on it until you commit. So let's go ahead and commit. Or my mouse can freak out again. Okay, about to lock into normal conquest difficulty for the duration of the current event. You will not be able to change difficulties once this is complete. Do you want to continue? All right. So now Sector 1 is unlocked. Let's see if Conquest Store is unlocked now. It is. So we can now spend crystals in the Conquest Store. Which, is that something we want to even think about? Critical chance. Okay. Might be worth it, but let's see what we're actually dealing with here. I hope we don't see Galactic challenges discontinued. They're kind of interesting, but to a certain extent, it does seem like they were just folded right into this system. Gym Shoes, what do you mean? On like somebody else's stream, or just did I do another stream the other day? Right, but I'm talking about kind of spending some crystals for your benefit here to see whether or not it's really worth spending them. I've saved up about 5,000 here, so I'm in good shape to waste a few just to find out. All right, you'll need to battle your way across the map to reach the boss. From here, pick whichever path you think you can overcome. There are several different types of nodes that comprise the map: combat missions, scavengers, and data disk stockpiles. Scavengers are hidden throughout the map and offer you powerful items, for a cost, to help you progress. Data disk stockpiles offer a choice between unique items that will help you succeed in battle. Gather both data disks and consumables to help you along your journey. Some nodes are hidden from view until you move closer to them. Okay, let's see what we can see ahead. All right, so it's not just 2 ahead. I mean, I guess technically it's 2 ahead because these are the nodes that we're currently looking at going towards. But we can see really the first 3 nodes here. So that's something. All right. Yeah, it does feel like a completely different game, which is good. I mean, this is a pretty massive update here. All right. So we can see these teams. Nothing shows up as anything significant. And yeah, here's our... Okay. So there are requirements. You do have requirements of 2 stars here. So that's interesting. Okay. Now, we don't have anything as far as gaining stars, so I assume it's just winning with a full team to gain 3 stars. All right. So we have limitless magic, and that's the Night Sisters perk. And then overprepared is another modifier on it. Okay, interesting. Okay, and you can see which data disks are available before you choose which of those. I'm not sure how I feel about them being different stocks there, but I guess that makes for an interesting choice. Galactic challenges were, I mean, they made it very clear that Galactic challenges were a test bed for how they wanted to set up these battles. They were always clear that that was never an end goal for them, Galactic challenges as they were, just a way to test a type of functionality that they wanted to use elsewhere. Okay, so we've got First Order, Murder Bears, and, oh, that's interesting. That is a... Huh. Interesting team. All right. Steadfast Retribution. Whenever a Galactic Republic ally takes damage from an enemy, they reflect 100% of that damage back at that enemy. The damage of this ability is increased by 10% for each time this ally has been dealt damage this way. Okay. And also overprepared. Yeah, that seems a little excessive. So, but they're only gear 12, so we'd actually want to use tankier, lower damage units to go in there with that. That's a little, like if I was going to avoid one of these 3, I think it'd be that one. But let's check out our other modifiers. Okay, so the Murder Bears are just overprepared 3. Versus overprepared 1. Let's see the difference. Overprepared 1 is max health, max protection, offense, and speed of 20%. And overprepared 3 is a 60% boost. Sorry about that. Okay. And then our Hux team, Blind Fury. Okay. Whenever a First Order ally gains advantage, they lose 20% critical chance and gain 35% critical damage. If a First Order unit does not score at least 1 critical hit, they gain advantage for 2 turns. Let's find out. I would assume that we can. Now, why is everybody overprepared? Is that a... So it seems like that's the sector bonus is what I'm gathering here is that everyone in this sector is going to be over-prepared. But we'll find out when we break into the next area. You cannot see their stats. Yep, there is. Yeah. Interesting. Okay. I also find it interesting that you do have a timer down here, so that indicates that they might be able to change the timer, or they might change the timers on different battles. That's also an interesting option. Okay, so now if we're going to avoid one here, we want to avoid this one. So let's see if there's something in here we really want to know whether or not we're going to try to avoid this one. Okay. So these do appear to be rarity: white, green, blue, purple, orange, or something like that. Since this one is Ruthless Offense down here in blue is slightly better than this one here. So let's see if we really want one of these. When an enemy falls below 100% health, all allies gain 22% turn meter. That's pretty awesome. And then this one is when an enemy falls below 100% health, all allies gain 16% offense. That is also a nice data disk. Okay, we have Ruthless Swiftness over here, so we can definitely get that one. Caustic Emissions. Enemy units gain damage over time for 2 turns at the start of their turn, which can't be resisted. That could be really good. Especially be very nice for like a Vader team. Let's see. And then heal over time. Allied units gain 2 heal over time effects for 2 turns at the start of their turn. That could be very useful at some point in this sector. I actually like the options here a little bit better. I'd rather worry more about health and turn meter than gaining offense from the Ruthless Offense. So let's go ahead. Okay, let's check out the rest of this interface here. I don't see anything. Right, we get right back into there. Okay, what are these feats from? So we have feats for the entire thing, and then each sector has its own feats, and each of these feats is worth 5. Okay. Gain advantage 20 times, score at least 100 critical hits, and 10 battles without losing any units. Very nice. All right. And then we have our Conquest store and inventory. Oh, a new interface for an inventory here. All right. Important. Data disks can help you overcome difficult battles. Data disks you pick up remain in your inventory for the entire event and disappear before the next conquest. Remember to equip them. Each data disk has a data capacity. You need to stay within the limit, but try out different ones to come up with unique builds. There's just a small tax of Conquest credits for swapping those. Okay. Consumables. These are powerful items that will push the strength of your squad even higher. You can have one of each category active at a time, and each consumable has a limited duration. Make sure to check back often to keep your squads in fighting shape. Consumables also disappear at the end of a Conquest event, so don't hold back. Okay, good to know. Now, another thing to note is from the explanation that they've given for how this works is theoretically we can go back to these stores and buy stuff from them later. So once we choose a route, we are able to go back. Though I'm not sure that means you can... That could just be the scavenger stores, maybe not the data disk stockpiles. I am not sure, because right now we just get to choose one of these. Personally, I'm thinking the Ruthless Swiftness. Gaining 22% turn meter is very, very, very useful. All right. Yep, we are going to commit to that. We now have a data disk. We are slotting it in. Okay, you just click on it and that's it. And then confirm, and that's going to use up 1 out of 12 capacity. Okay, so now we are locked in there. All right, and so we've locked into, this is just what we got here. So data disk stockpiles, you cannot really revisit, apparently. Okay, so which one of these do we want to go after? I'm very curious about the murder bears, the overpowered murder bears. This will be fun. Okay. All right, overpowered murder bears, I think. All right, 15 energy for the battle. And let's see. Overpowered murder bears. I'm going to pull up the fun Ewok counters here and see. Now, this... Okay, we do have Logray, Wicket. We're missing... All right, so no revives and whatnot. So, okay, this shouldn't be too much of a problem. So what do we want to do this with? I'm honestly kind of thinking a... Because how crafty do we want to be here? I can't see any reason why we wouldn't want to be going after solos and duos, because then you're... Right, exactly. So we've got stamina on the characters that we're going to have to be dealing with. So let's get in here and... Okay, so there's the stamina meter. All right. I don't think that my scoundrels are really good enough here, would be my guess. Not with them being overpowered like that. Yeah. My nest is only gear 10? Nope, gear 11. Still, wouldn't really want to do that. I mean, it could be fine to try. I mean, it's just... Okay, and they're 50 crystals refreshes. I mean, we can remod. So mods are not locked, so we can mod her for tenacity and just and do that. One of the things that I'm wondering about actually is going to be what happens when you lose a character. So, and actually this could be a very, very good test here. Let's see what happens when we lose a character. Oh, we should also see if now that we've locked in the data disk, I wonder if we can see the characters, the enemy character stats. So let's find that out too. Nope, we still cannot see the stats. We have no idea what kind of potency or anything like that. So it could be that throwing tenacity isn't going to matter because they've got insane potency. We don't know. Okay, well, with that in mind, yeah, let's do a Kira Nest and just see how it goes. We're going to lose Kira because my Kira is very low gear, but we'll be able to see what happens when you lose a character. They're not modded, so let me do a quick mod. I'm going to use Grand Ivory and Hot Utils to do that quickly. So we will be logged out here and have to reload the game. Meanwhile, I'm going to enjoy my yummy coffee. All right. There's that. Scoundrels. Nest and Kira. Hi, Tenacity Nest. A little bit of health. Whole lot of Tenacity. The question here is going to be on the whether or not my Nest can survive their plus 60% offense. They could get a good lucky shot in. Their extra health and protection might keep them alive a little longer, too, and run out the clock. But this will be interesting no matter what. Okay, and we'll have 150% tenacity on Nest. If that doesn't do it, I don't know what will. The real question is going to be whether or not Nest just gets taken out, because my Nest only has about 60,000 effective health. So I might actually drop some of that tenacity and put some more health on instead. That might be a better idea. 100, yeah, because we don't need 150% tenacity. If we need 150% tenacity, we've done something else wrong. Or they've just got crazy, crazy potency. Okay, here's 143% potency with 65k effective health. Let's go a little bit further here. How's... wow. There's only so much I can do with a Gear 11 Nest. How about... yeah, ooh, 115% and 69k effective health. Yep, we'll try that. All right, and we'll reload. Okay, Wampa and Nest do not get counter against Phoenix. That's weird. Okay, that is really, really, really strange. We'll have to be very careful about teams like that then. And thank you for the info on losing a character. According to Tet, if you lose a character, it reappears in the next battle at 90% stamina. So it doesn't cost you extra stamina if you lose them or anything like that. Okay. We'll go ahead and test that, Rain Man. I need to level a couple of Nest's mods. I haven't messed with the Tenacity mods in a while. That is a solid Tenacity mod there. Okay. Let's go ahead and do this. Alright, so they don't have crazy speed. That's a good sign. And doesn't really matter here. Stagger doesn't matter. We're not really trying to do anything. Let's just go ahead and get some damage on Scout. Or we could daze somebody. Is there anybody we want dazed? I guess. Alright. Okay, well that seems to be effective. Yeah, they're very slow. They're almost slow enough that this could be a problem if Wicket gets in a really hard hit. Yeah, unfortunately it's going to cost us a star though, so we'll have to come back and do the battle again with full stars anyway, but it may be the right idea to go ahead and clear it this way first to make sure that we preserve roster and then go back later once we're sure we've gotten everything else done. I don't know. We'll find out. But they obviously didn't have a ton of potency here either. I wish we could see their stats. Yeah, that definitely went a bit smoother than I expected. I was expecting them to be a little more significant as far as... Okay, so that's what this line is. This line here is just your visual, where you can see to. Okay, good to know. Yeah, so you should be able to solo that with gas or anything like that. Cake wall would be funnier. Okay, and yeah, we only got 2 stars there, so only 2 out of 3 key cards. Let's see our feats here. That was a good way to get a bunch of critical hits. Okay, so now one of the things we want to do here is we want to look and see if there's battles we want to avoid up here for sure. Geos. Could be fun. Okay, I don't really care about any of those. And let's see if there's any data discs we really want up here. Oh, yes, I will check my Kira at the beginning of the next battle. Remind me again, though, just in case. All right. Quickening. Allied units gain 8% speed and 5.5% evasion bonus. That seems very nice for a 1-cost data disc. Potency calibration. Whenever an enemy resists a debuff, all allies gain 17% potency. I'm not sure how I feel about that one. That could be very useful in a very niche situations. But quickening, that's awesome. Okay, ooh, we have another ruthless offense, so that could be good. Protection recovery. Whenever an ally gains a buff, they also recover 3% protection. That could be very good. And then ruthless swiftness, which we already have. Personally, I'd rather have quickening than anything else. Yes, that could be very good for a Bastila lead. But I'd rather have something that's beneficial to everyone right now. Until I'm a little more sure how the strategy for this is going to go, I'm going to go a little bit more general with my data discs. All right, so we want to try to make sure that we get to here, which means we're going to have to fight one of these two. And either one of us, or either one of these battles can get there. So, Night Sisters or Resistance. Let's see what the Resistance bonuses are. Fearless Fortitude. Whenever an enemy resists a detrimental effect from a Resistance ally, that ally gains heal over time for 1 turn. Whenever Resistance ally gains a buff, they also gain 5% potency, crit chance, and crit damage stacking until the end of battle, and 10% turn meter. Thank you for the follow, gentlemen. Okay, so I'm not too concerned about that. Yeah, not too terribly concerned, especially at Gear 12. Now that we know they're not simulated as having really good mods or anything like that. And then overprepared. So that should be a fairly easy battle. Taking us to Rebels with the odds. Interesting that they don't have overpowered. Or overprepared. Why is that? That is awfully strange. I hate dealing with this because the RNG on that is absolutely crazy, so we're going to try to avoid that fight. I would rather have these guys. Summoned Separatist allies have the extra speed, health, and protection. Not really worried about that. Not at Gear 12. Okay, so we'll do these resistance. Let's check Kira real quick. There's Kira, so she's right there, 90%. No problem. And there's Nest at 90%. All right, excellent. Okay, anything special about this team? Okay, it is going to be the Heroes, JTR, and Scavenger Ray. Let's see. Might do a crew lead, or it's going to be our most efficient. And we really might not have to be anywhere near this efficient in general, but we're going to try this first time through. We're going to try to be as efficient as possible to make sure. Let's see. I don't want to waste my General Skywalker or anything like that yet. Could do... bet Padme would be fairly solid as one to use earlier rather than later, because you have so many options in there. You can switch out different tanks, and sure, Padme will lose stamina and her stats will go down, but you can swap out a lot of the other Galactic Republic units and keep her safe. You just have to be careful what teams you're going after. No AoE teams or teams with marks. Yeah, you know what? Let's play around with that and use some Padme. We'll just need to make sure that I didn't pull any mods off of my Padme team. But let's start with just a standard... Oh, we really don't need to use... Well, we've got energy and whatnot to use up. I only have another... I've got another probably 2 hours to play around with this. So we'll go through a couple refreshes. Let's see. I really don't need to go this heavy here. So let's use some of our backup Galactic Republic in here with Clone Sergeant, and I'd be uncomfortable pulling JKA out, but we could use a different tank if I had a reasonably good one that isn't 5s. But I mean, swapping 5s in Kenobi is also perfectly fine. But let's just start with this. Stamina regains 1% every half hour. Interesting. Good to know. Thank you. Alright, start by getting that out there. Do we know if cooldowns or anything else carries over in between battles with the same characters? I assume not with the way that this is set up, but I don't want to completely assume that, so we'll be testing that here with Padme. We'll try to use her twice in a row. Yeah, they are not modded. It seems like they're not modded at all. Okay. And now I'm going to avoid that Rebels team because no. Alright, we now have 20 of the Conquest currency. We'll look at spending some of that a little bit later. I did check Kira, Rain Man. Started out actually in the roster, and when we load up this battle, you'll see that your previous will show up. Kira was at 90%. Okay. Now, when we look at our own, can we see the stat drops? Do we even know if stat drops start at 90% or if they come in later? Well, I don't see anything that demonstrates anything. Can't, there's no hover over this and it tells you. Oh, no, we can click on, there we go. All right, you can click on the little plus. All right, when your allies are victorious in battle, they'll lose stamina. Allies with lower stamina have reduced stats. Rainman, it could be that if you lose the battle, then you'll have to revive them. But if you win and you lost characters, they might not need revived. Stamina refills over time, but sometimes you'll want to win immediately. You can use stim packs to regain some stamina. Stim packs can be purchased from the Conquest store. Tap the button to the left to go there now. Okay, so we can see... Okay, so we see exactly the stats that are dropped. Ooh, speed is a significant drop just at 10% down. That's interesting. So we lost 19 speed by dropping 10% stamina. That's pretty crazy. All right. Okay. So small stim packs at 8. Conquest. What are these? Conquest key cards? No, these aren't key cards. These are credits. A small stim pack gets you 10%. A large stim pack gets you 50%. Okay, noted. Personally, unless I need to, I'm going to be saving the Conquest credits for Razor Crest shards, because they did say that they are going to be in the scavengers, and you will buy them with Conquest shards, or Conquest credits from the scavengers. That does make sense, Dartside. That makes a lot of sense. I would assume so, Scoped. We can test it out for fun, but I'll wait till maybe a little bit later to test that. Okay. So, with that then in mind, everybody losing a decent amount of speed and whatnot, let's keep going with this, and we'll swap out some other Galactic Republic here shortly. Yeah, exactly. That's why I'm thinking Padme is a really, really solid choice to be sort of going back and forth with a little bit. Okay. Yeah, I'll show you again here real quick, Dartside, when we get to the next battle. All right, and we wanted to pick up Quickening. Excellent. So you lose stamina, so you're losing stats, you're losing speed, but you're making up for it with the data discs. So that helps. All right. All right, which of these do we want to go after? Another ruthless offense. They really want us to have that. Leader's Resolve. The allied unit in the leader slot gains 66% max health, 53% max protection, 40% offense, and 20% speed. Okay, that's interesting. Yeah, Nerdy, this is a really cool game mode that is wildly different than the rest of the game. This is good. Yeah, that looks ridiculously good, especially for this Padme thing that I'm doing here. So I have a very strong feeling I'm going to go for that. But let's see what's over here. Zealous Ambition. Allied healers gain offense equal to 34% of their max health. That's interesting. I'm not sure that I don't think that I really care that much about that, but that's interesting. Insatiable. Allied units gain 11% health steal and 11% defense penetration. That's significant. And another leader's resolve. Okay. So I think this is the more interesting lineup here. I mean, that's a lot of offense. So if you give them, 100,000 max health, and you're taking 34% of that, that's a lot of offense. So you can, that allows you to use characters that you would otherwise not use anywhere and just throw them out there. So that's pretty significant. Yeah, Tuscan Shaman meta. That's a really interesting one. Insatiable sounds really good though. That's a fairly general one that could be very useful, but Leader's Resolve is definitely the one I think I'm still leaning towards. Thank you, Nerdy. You have a great day. All right, so with that in mind, let's take a look here. Oh, I don't want to mess with the Galactic Republic because of that bonus. I just don't want to. I don't want to mess with that. that does not scale. And this one's got Padme in it. And Cam. So yeah, I don't want to mess with that one. Oh, look, Phoenix. But we have learned that, okay, yeah, that's annoying, but it's better than the other one. And overprepared 3. Wait, hold on. Why does this overprepared 3 only 40%, but the previous overprepared 3 was 60%? Yeah, the question that I've got is apparently, who was it? Tet was saying that Wampa and Nest will not counter Phoenix in Conquest for some reason. I mean, we can test it real quick and see. But that could be an interesting bug. I'm not sure that I would think that my Wampa would be good enough, but maybe not. Let's see. I do have my Wampa. I could remod my Wampa real quick. Thank you for the follow, gimme gimme. I mean, specifically, he was saying it's Nest and Wampa won't counter. And specifically Phoenix. I have no idea if it's accurate or not. We can find out. Let me remod my Wampa, though, because my Wampa is not modded for solos. Or really well at all. He's really low on my mod list. Yeah, low tenacity. So let me do that real quick. Okay, so you had a guildie say that too. All right, do you guys want me to go ahead and test it so you can see on stream, or should we accept now two 2 reports of that. I'm leaning towards 2 reports is good enough. In which case, let's do... I could probably do EP Vader. That is true, Gib. So we can test it and should be able to still win. So let's go ahead and do that. It's going to make me spend all of my credits on modding. Let's see here. We need some tenacity. I'm not sure why this preset has no tenacity. Okay, let's see what this does for us. All right. We'd have effective HP of 200k, tenacity of 120, potency of 60. That should be good enough. That should be more than good enough for this. And speed of 295. Yeah, that looks good to me. Okay, we should be remodded now. Let's reload. Contract is really helping out there, Dart side, with making up for the stamina drops. Good to know. I might actually have to gear up some of my bounty hunters. They are not well geared. All right. Okay, and let's make sure the mods are good. Yep. It looks good to me. Yep, that is definitely not countering. Wow. That's not great. Yeah, that went very bad. Okay. Let's find out what happens when we retreat. I want to know. Lose the progress, count as a loss. But will it take your stamina? No. Okay. So you don't lose your stamina. I don't need to revive him or anything. Yeah. So I think that that confirms that Wampa will not counter Phoenix for some reason. Okay, that makes sense. Thank you, Dartside. So far, no revive mechanic or anything like that, Rain Man. All right, well, with that noted, let's find a different counter there. Hmm. Empire troopers. I don't know. My troopers should be good enough on this account. But they could also be more useful elsewhere. So, I mean, I guess this is where they'd be useful on this account. Or is there a more efficient counter I'm not thinking of? Bounty hunters would actually be fine too, I guess. I could go ahead and play around with them. Let's do that. Yeah, I'm not too worried about energy. I saved up quite a few crystals to experiment with this for everybody. All right, we'll do bounty hunters. Geos would also be fine, you're right. Okay. Let's make sure they are still... Nope, we've lost some mods. Just on you, though. Where did this mod go? It must have gone to Wampa. Yep. Nope. Did not. Where did this mod go? Kira. That must be it. That should be fine. Oops. Whose lead were you using in general, Gibbo, for bounty hunters? Hey, all right, you're at least granted the key cards right away. Makes sense. Okay. Now we're going to go after Leader's Resolve. So we can use, let's see, I don't particularly want to take on that team. That one should be easy enough, but that's definitely a harder random JTR team. And who wants to fight Malik when you don't have to? Even a Gear 12 Malik. Oh, I'm sorry, you are correct. Yeah, Dart side, who are you using for your bounty hunter lead? All right, let's go after... Yeah, I'd rather go after this Finn team. And here's our scavenger up here, so we'll get to see what's there soon enough. And let's go ahead and take Leader's Resolve. That'll be useful for both bounty hunters and Padme, as well as everybody else. I can't think of pretty much any team where that is not useful. Geez, that'd be great for Vader, too. That's true, yeah, the quick payout from Aura is awesome. There's a reason this one costs 3 data capacity. But it seems like a really nice one to have early. Okay, and we can look and see what's at the scavenger ahead of time. A lot of stuff for crystals. Okay. A lot of gear. Okay. All 3, oh yeah, we do have... Yeah. I'm wondering why it's just all Gear 12 gear, but whatever. Darkside, was that intended to be a question? I'm not quite sure. Yeah, I mean, it could be a great way to get that Gear 12 gear together, but I was hoping we'd be able to find some of the Razor Crest shards in there. And these aren't exactly... Whatever, we'll come back to that later. Let's do this fight. We'll go back to Padme here. More scavengers ahead with different rewards. Okay, good to know. Padme, let's go ahead and we'll keep Anakin in here, but let's change up some other stuff. So we'll put in 5s, and let's do R2. Could be. All right, let's do this. So we can see here our drop. So we've dropped 37 speed with 20% stamina drop. That's a little rough. I don't have the best mods on Padme to begin with, though. Ooh, and our R2 is missing some mods. Let's fix that. Where would his mods have gone? Should probably just go ahead and swap back to my normal mod set here real quick. We'll just do that so we're not messing around with mods too much. Since we don't have to worry about the enemy teams being crazy fast or high modded or anything like that. Okay, Hot Utils, why are you taking so long? Okay, there we go. Let's reload real quick. And we'll be good. Yeah, it's a serious drop. You get to make up for it with the data disk bonuses and whatnot, but that is still rough. That's going to make it very strategic whenever you're dealing with hard mode. And of course, if you don't want to be strategic, they've given you ways to deal with it with spending crystals instead. So, okay. I guess that works. I don't really see a problem with it. Okay, and we can go ahead and claim this. All right. Not bad. And we can take a look at the Conquest store. And now that we've got 90, we could spend on some different boosters, which seems probably like a good idea. Or grab some Mark III Carbontes. I've saved up 1,500 of them, so I think I'll be okay for now. I'm tempted to go ahead and pick up this stim pack just because I know these are going to refresh in a little bit. Yeah, Malik and Watt versus Phoenix. You always need more Carbontes. Alright, I'm going to go ahead and pick this up for later. And not too worried about the protection med pack. It's going to be, that's a little more niche. Critical chance, a little more niche. Defense is always nice, but you can also make that up with modding. Yeah, I actually am tempted to grab the Carbontes, but I've got 6 hours left to do that. So we'll do that later. All right. Back here. And we'll do Padme, Anakin, R2, and 5s. Yeah, courage is going to be a very effective thing here. I can see that being super, super important in the hard mode. All right, Grievous with GBA and Newt. Well, that's an interesting team. And then just Geos. I think I'd rather just fight Geos. Yeah, we're gonna just do Geos. Let's see. I could keep going with Padme here, or we could do something else. I mean, my triumvirate might be good enough for this, especially with the bonuses. That'd be interesting. So with Hero's Resolve, we should be in pretty solid shape. Plus the other bonuses. Yeah, seems worth testing out here. Oh, yeah. I think I've got my Vader at Relic 7. I mean, most people should have their Vader at Relic 7 between, what is it, Sith Eternal and... What was the other one you needed him up for? I mean, you need him for JKL. All right. Oh, yeah, the turn meter boost whenever they drop below 20% or below 100% really works against the Geos there. Wow, that's actually kind of broken. Because they keep dropping because they're... So that's a little bit of a bug there. Every time they equalize health, it looked like they were triggering that effect. Why, thank you, Gib. All right. So you just commit. All right. Okay, I don't... And you can revisit this later, so you don't have to pick up stuff now. You can revisit this anytime during the 2 weeks, theoretically. I mean, if you want to spend crystals, these are decent crystal prices. It's just not for gear. That said, this is also normal mode. I would assume hard mode has possibly different things in the scavengers. Not to mention, as mentioned, the scavengers theoretically later on will have different stuff. Okay, next up, let's do... Oh, Murder Bears with 3PO. Well, that's fun. Let's see. We know that the Nest, Kira Nest worked. A Nest solo might be just fine. We might not need Kira so that we don't lose that. But I wouldn't want to necessarily risk it with 3PO if he's got super high... Malik Watt, yeah. That is true. Malik Watt is always good. All right, where's my Watt? Probably already... Nope, there he is. Oh, I know. Yep, this should be pretty solid. Okay, let's go after... Surely it is. We'll wait till there's a few more dots out, maybe. Okay. Kind of annoying that we couldn't get them to crit Malik before. The question there, I'm pretty sure, was just whether or not your leader, the person in the leader spot, actually has to have a leadership ability. All right. Again, we're going to worry about 3-starring everything later. Okay, so we have another scavenger up here, and we'll have to choose between the scavenger or the data disk stockpile. So that's interesting. But we can see what's at the scavenger, which are overcharged health steal, protection med packs, barrier tech, and mending shield tech. So we need to see what those are so we know whether or not we want them. Okay, overcharged health steal med pack. 61% health steal. Duration of 2. Okay, that could be nice. Little niche. Overcharged protection med pack. Plus 98% protection. Max duration 2. I assume that means max protection. Reflexive Barrier Tech. Gain protection up for 2 turns on receiving a critical hit. Protection up of 15%, max duration 2. Okay. That's also interesting. That could be very good. Yeah, that's exactly what I was thinking, Rain Man. And then Mending Shield Tech. Whenever an ally recovers health, they also recover 10% protection. Okay, but when they recover health, will that count on health steal? I wonder. Or only for various healing? Okay. The reflexive barrier tech would be nice. I don't particularly want to spend crystals on either of the other two. The overcharged health steal could be very nice. But let's see if there's a data disk we really want. Like power, for example. But starting at the top, Vitality. Allied units gain 27% max health and 22% max protection. That would be very nice. Power. Allied units gain 27% offense and 22% crit damage. Also nice. Amplify Agony. Whenever an ally inflicts a debuff on an enemy, they also deal 5.1% max health damage to that enemy. So that's interesting, Amplify Agony, because it doesn't matter if you would... It doesn't matter what your stamina is at. If you're just doing debuffs, then you're taking out damage. Not to mention, think of Watt. Having Watt, even at 10% stamina, who cares? He's going to be back there doing all kinds of stuff as long as you're not going up against an AoE team that's going to get him through a taunt. So I'm really liking that Amplify Agony right there. That's true. Hermit Yoda would love this Mending Shield back. But honestly, I'm leaning towards going for Amplify Agony myself. I don't want to pass up good data discs for these consumables that I'm really not that... I don't really care that much about. I mean, the Reflexive Barrier Tech would be very nice for Padme, but at only 2 uses, I don't know that I care that much. Yeah, I think we're going to go towards Amplify Agony, which means we can go for either of these. All right, so we've got, okay, Sith Triumvirate with Darth Revan. That's interesting. With no overpowered or overcharged or whatever it is, but Grim Machinations. Whenever a Sith ally is defeated, all Sith allies gain 50% max health and offense stacking until the end of battle. Gain 50% turn meter and recover 50% health. So that is one that we would definitely prefer to avoid, but we can do it if we need to. And the other team is Old Republic with Nest. That's interesting. Can Kylo Ren solo that with Nest? I don't think I've ever tried with Nest. Well, we will be doing that. Now, let's make sure there's no crazy buff here. Overprepared is the normal thing. Old Republic, immune to tenacity down. We don't care. Extra tenacity. We're not going to have a whole lot of detrimental effects. We don't need to be applying them. True damage. Is that going to be a problem? Interesting. Okay. So yeah, we're gonna try our Kylo Ren solo here. And I shouldn't have to remod him. He's not going to have good mods, but should be good enough for this. Not great. It's fine. Yeah, so the true damage isn't doing anything significant. I love this counter. He just stacks up so much damage. You are welcome, Rain Man. Alright, now let's grab Amplify Agony, because that just seems like it'll be a lot of fun. Alright, we are at 7 out of 12. Making progress. I'm not too concerned about getting through or avoiding any particular team out here. Resistance is so easy to get through that that's an easy target. But let's make sure we can get to both of these options. So that means we're going to need... Well, we'll see. We need to be able to get wherever we want to. Oh, this would be a terrible one to have the obnoxious rebel buff on. God, that would be awful. No. Alright, more bugs. Alright, no change there. Refresh that. Alright, what bugs counter do we want to use this time? I'm going to just stick with the Sith. That went over so well, and it doesn't seem like this is going to be any harder. Especially since we now have Amplify Agony. That's just going to make it even better. Though we are minus 10%, or yeah, minus 10% stamina. Shouldn't be that much of a problem. Oh my. Yep. Amplify Agony definitely made a bit of a difference here. This is a very good team for Amplify Agony. All right. Okay, let's see what's up here at this scavenger. Overcharged crit damage booster. That's very nice. 61% extra crit damage. Overcharged tenacity, plus 159% tenacity. That could be very useful against specific teams. Actually, that could be extremely useful against our boss. So we might actually even pick that up just to fight the boss team. The boss modifier. When the mighty fall, the boss gains taunt at the start of the encounter, which cannot be copied, dispelled, or prevented. All of the boss's allies deal 200% more damage, take 75% less damage, and lose 50% turn meter when they take damage from an attack. These effects are removed when the boss is defeated. Huh. I'm not entirely sure how I feel about this one. Yes, you've got Nihilus behind a permataunt, but I mean, you don't want Treya getting taken out first. Because she doesn't get any bonuses. She doesn't get extra health or anything like that. So you just take Treya out and you're good. This seems like a bad thing. I don't know. I mean, we don't know what the boss modifier is because she's got that boss tag. And so who knows what that's really going to look like. But that seems easy. All right. Well, we'll come back to that later. Let's go ahead and do this. We'll keep up with Padme again. Exactly. Oh, I am sorry, Rain Man. I missed that. Yeah. Okay. So we also had then the large stim pack. Restores 50% stamina for only 40 Conquest currency. So that seems maybe worth stopping there for. And then a small stim pack for 40 crystals. I do too. I can't even tell you why, necessarily. Alright, but let's see what's here. Ooh, an upgrade for Amplify Agony. Instead of 5.1%, it would be 6.63%. I really like that idea. Caustic emissions. Oh no. But we could get caustic emissions. Enemy units gain damage over time for 2 turns at the start of their turn, which can't be resisted. I don't think that stacks because you have to have an ally inflicted debuff. We could test it. We could find out if caustic emissions and amplify agony stacks. That's exactly, I think, the type of thing that I would want to be testing here. I can't imagine that would stack, though. Even messed up, I can't see that stacking. Yeah, I would not be surprised by that dart side. I wouldn't be surprised at all. I was kind of saving gas to just take down the boss or do a different sector with it or something, but I mean, they have this this normal thing is, or this normal mode is, I mean, it's not difficult, but it's geared for 2 million GP rosters. So if that's the recommended, I have to assume that they expect somebody with a decent to good 2 million GP roster to be able to clear the whole thing. So it's going to be real easy for us. Yep, I'll go ahead and test it. So we've got Night Sisters or... Ooh. This could be interesting. You won't even get the malicious minions, because there will be no summon. And yeah, I think we just use Padme again there. But let's go ahead and we'll change up our Padme team here. Let's keep R2, and I will show the stats this time. Let's check out Padme's stats. At 61% stamina, she's down to 190 speed and 58,000 health. You can see, Rain Man, you can see the mastery stat. So the mastery is at 7.27 out of 10. So that's probably your best bet for doing the math and making sure that it tracks all the way through. Okay, let's go ahead. No, I guess we'll just stick with this lineup for now. Kind of unlucky stun there. All right. Let's go after... Let's do this. Oh, that was my bad. That was silly. Yeah, that leadership bonus is huge. I will try to do a rundown video on the best data discs that I find throughout this whole thing. Alright, we're going to pick up Caustic Emissions this time, and we're going to test whether or not it combines with Amplify Agony. It shouldn't, and it would be silly if it did, but we're going to try to break this game if we can. Alright, we've got Imp Troopers or more resistance. And we're coming up on the boss here shortly. I'm going to go after the resistance because it's easy, and I'd rather be fighting the bugs right before the boss. And I want to see just how far Padme can go here. So now we're at 52%. Speed's down to 173. R2 is still going first, so that's good. Okay. The turn meter gain on health loss has also been huge. What do you mean by use data disk at the beginning? Okay, let me slow this down so that we can see. Okay, so they had the debuffs applied, but I wasn't going slow enough, so let me... We need one of them to take a turn. Come on, somebody take a turn. There we go. All right. Looks to me like we did not actually have caustic emissions trigger. Well, hello, DB Official. Thank you for jumping in here with a raid. I'm currently testing whether or not caustic emissions combines with Amplify Agony. So far, it does not look like it does, though Amplify Agony is absolutely amazing, especially with this particular team here. All right. We might just have to test on a different team than the Geos. Geos is a little bit tough. How are you all doing today? Oh, I am sorry to hear that. That is terrible. Well, I'm glad that you have enjoyed the videos. I have watched yours for quite a while. Awesome. Man, get better, man. Those are... Oh, that's the worst. All right. Well, we're on the boss now. And I kind of want to see if Gas can solo it. I'm also interested to see what boss and elite tags actually mean. Later, man. Get some sleep and hopefully some good pain meds. All right. For everybody who just showed up, let me actually show you my current data disk loadout. So we are running with Ruthless Swiftness, which has been excellent. Highly recommend. When an enemy falls below 100% health, all allies gain 22% turn meter. This works very well in a lot of different situations. I really highly recommend. Quickening was a very, very simple general buff that just gives everybody 8% speed and evasion and 5.5% evasion, so that's fantastic. Leader's Resolve has been particularly excellent as well, with the leader gaining 66% health, max health, 53% max protection, 40% offense, and 20% speed. It's been significantly helpful, especially for, say, Padme, whereas as she's losing stamina and all of her stats are going down, this is kind of making up for it. Not to mention other teams just getting a massive buff to the leader. Like you could use that with Grievous and have an insane Grievous. Then we've got Amplify Agony. This has been great for Sith Triumvirate. Whenever an ally inflicts a debuff on an enemy, they also deal 5.1% max health damage to that enemy. So whenever the Geonosians were attacking, whenever they were attacking Scion, he's inflicting pain on them, and they're taking max health damage. So that just makes that fight even easier and go faster. Then what I was just testing out was Caustic Emissions, which is enemy units gain damage over time for 2 turns at the start of their turn, which can't be resisted. I wanted to see if there was something broken between Caustic Emissions and Amplify Agony. Even though Amplify Agony says that it requires an ally to inflict the debuff to do the max health damage, I wanted to test and see if Caustic Emissions would trigger it anyway. It did not appear to do so, but we're going to keep testing that. And now with all of the buffs that I have, I'm going to try to gas solo the boss here and see how it goes. On easy mode, or on the normal mode, for everybody who hasn't jumped in and tried their own Conquest yet, it is definitely geared... It's geared towards the 2 million recommended GP that they've got. It has been extremely easy so far. Okay, what have we got going on here? Okay, so that's the bonus. So bosses have their own extra... oh, you're right. I didn't even check those feats. Thanks, Dartside. We'll come back for some of the other feats, though. So we have... on bosses, they have their own special... modifier. It's not like the sort of sector modifier or the normal team modifier. So the Sith modifier isn't on this. It's a different one that the boss has a permanent taunt, or the leader has a permanent taunt, and then you have this bonus here of this unit deals 200% more damage, takes 75% less damage, and lose 50% turn meter when they take damage from an attack. These effects are removed when the boss is defeated. So that's interesting. All right, so we're going to go ahead and just take out Treya. And there goes Treya. All right. So yeah, this is definitely geared to some lower GP. But it's good stuff. So far, the game mode is very, very interesting. I like it a lot. All right, now let's check out the rest of those feats. Wow, I can barely read that now that it's been done. We'll come back to that later. All right, so we unlock the last thing here, the last data disk stockpile. And let's see. Well, that's less than helpful. It's just cards I already have. Not useful at all. Noted. So we'll pick one for... just because we have to here in a second. Oh, so yeah, you do have an extra timer on the boss battles. That's another thing to note. So boss battles, 10 minutes apparently. I assume that they can be changed, and maybe some boss battles might be faster or slower. Let me try to read these feats here real quick. All right, 100,000 damage to an enemy in a single hit. 3 enemies in the same defeat 3 enemies in the same turn, and complete the battle after taking 10 or more consecutive turns before the enemy takes a turn. Well, that's interesting. Okay, so we'll come back to that and finish that later. Let me double check that Ruthless Swiftness and Leader's Resolve, that I have them at that same level. Pretty sure I do, yep. So these are going to be totally useless upgrades. But I believe you can sell them if they're extra. Okay. Or can you double up? I believe they said that you cannot gain the bonus for any particular data disk twice. We might have to test that later. All right, we'll go ahead and jump into Sector 2. I've got another maybe half hour or so, and then I need to get going myself. But let's see what we've got in Sector 2 here. All right. And we're going to end with a Relic Beskar Mando. Or just Gear 13, not Relict. Interesting. All right. And plenty of scavengers on the way through. So the scavengers are going to be pretty plentiful. They have pretty different available items, so that's pretty neat. Let's take a look at some of these other data disks. All right, we've seen all of these before. Another allied healers gain offense equal to 34% of their max health. That could be very interesting to try and get some use out of all of your healers. An upgraded caustic emissions. And let's see, offensive buffs. Allied units gain offense up, critical damage up, and critical chance up for 1 turn at the start of their turn. That seems exceptionally effective. And then another Amplify Agony. So offensive buff seems like one to certainly target. Power isn't that bad either. An extra 27% offense and 22% crit damage. I'd rather have the first turn buffs, personally. So let's go through here. Okay, looks like everybody in this sector, so this sector is entirely Gear 13. No relics, though. I'm very interested to see how much harder this is. For example, let's go ahead and start by targeting these geos and see how that goes. All right. All right, at 71%, we're looking pretty thin here. Not a whole lot of health, but we do have all of those buffs, especially that leadership buff. Oh, geez. I'm sorry, I missed that. Thank you, Tatko. All right. Well, with that out of the way... Oh, let me slow it down, and we can try to see that caustic emissions thing again. And just in case it actually does trigger. All right, well... I really ought to be targeting whoever's got the highest health here because of the Amplify Agony. All right. So we're just constantly gaining turn meter because of the... which buff was it? Can't remember what it's called. Ruthless Swiftness. There we go. Because of Ruthless Swiftness, which is... every time an enemy falls below 100% health, you gain 22% turn meter. However, for some reason, it's happening against bugs basically every time they take damage. You can see there we just gained a bunch of turn meter. So there's something definitely a little bugged out, I think, about that that interaction with bugs. I'm sure it has something to do with how they balance their health. Yes, at the start of their turn. That is crazy good. Okay, offensive buffs. We will definitely be going for that. Especially because we can combine that with some other data discs that give you health or protection whenever you gain buffs. It would also be absolutely crazy with... there's a few different teams that would be crazy with. Yes, I'm finding that very much dart side. All right. I would really like to see how a JKR team does here. All right, sweeping strikes. Nothing too crazy. We need to not use a debuff team against them, and that's really about it. All right. Yeah, it's interesting that they've got GMY there. I would have. I mean, it's an interesting team. It's a good team. I'm just not sure about why they have Juhani in there. Oh well. All right, let's see. What do we want to use? CLS. No, debuffs. Yeah. Yeah, that's okay. She was probably my least favorite character in that game anyway. Let's do... I don't know what a good non-debuff heavy team is for JKR. I guess CLS probably is still going to be fine anyway. Or no, let's just do Padme. Let's see if our Padme can still hold up even at like 40% stamina. I really want to see how effective or how dangerous it is to get low on stamina here. I'm going to go in with a 42% Padme, 42% Anakin. We're going to take an 82% GK. And let's go ahead and bring in... we'll bring in 100% Ahsoka. And we'll do... yeah, just 4-man this, see how it goes. Yeah, Callow would have been awesome. There's a lot of really cool characters I still want, but I really want them to fix... let's see, who do we want to go after? I really want them to fix up Vissus. I would have loved to have... I really wanted Vissus to be a really good character. Okay, so you can see we just gained a bunch of turn meter because Yoda fell below 100% health. I kind of can't stress enough how important or how good that data disk is. I'm sure it'll be a little bit different at the higher difficulty levels, but even then I imagine it's going to be extremely good. All right, who do we want to... let's do... Yeah, I know. I'm just really honestly not worrying about feats so much. I'm worrying more about experimenting right now. I'll go back and complete feats on my own time. Yeah, I'm not sure what happened with Savior there. I was very confused. I didn't catch a Savior. Did anybody, any of you? Hmm. All right, so we're going to grab offensive buffs because it looks amazing. I could see how it could be a problem against certain teams, though, so it could actually hurt you in some cases. All right. Nope, that's the wrong one. Okay. And let's do... yeah, okay, I'll do a couple more. We'll do a full refresh here, and then I will have to take off. Okay, so we've got Sith or Phoenix. Phoenix is kind of annoying in that apparently, for those of you who weren't here before, I can confirm that at the very least Wampa will not counter Phoenix in Conquest mode. It was reported by a couple other people. We went ahead and tested and confirmed. Wampa does not counter in this mode. No idea why, or at least he won't counter Phoenix. It was also said that Nest will not counter Phoenix either. No idea why. So let's go ahead and go after Sith. Grim Machinations is annoying, but I really don't like the Rebel bonus. And there's no Nihilist, so it'll be fine. All right, who do we want to use? We've only got a couple battles left, so yeah, it's the odds modifier. I'm not sure what you're asking about, Dartside. Let's just do this for fun. Actually, okay, I'll check the feats so that I'm not being really silly here. Where can I check the sector feats? Here we go. Full squad of Jedi units, 7 times. Okay, I guess I should... That's an easy one to do. Attack out of turn 50 times, so they want you to be using JKR. Noted. Yep. The main event ones from the home page. So back here. Event feats. Okay, yeah. 750 critical hits. No tanks. 400 enemies. Yeah, all light side units. Interesting that you have to have a full squad and not a squad of all light side units. So you do have to have 4 or 5 members, because otherwise this would be progressing. So you can't underman it and still get these. That is annoying. Okay, well. We'll go ahead and we'll go in with some Jedi. Why not? Let's do JML and some less useful Jedi. And see how it goes. This is going to be interesting with Caustic and was it Caustic Ambitions or Caustic, whatever it was, and Amplify Agony. Well, Amplify Agony is not going to matter too much for this team, but Caustic Emissions, Caustic Emissions, that's what it was, will be interesting because we're going to have debuffs, and then Trey is going to be taking more, is going to be doing plenty of damage to her team. So this will be interesting. All right. And we're attacking out of turn because that's one of the feats. And let's just keep spreading it around. And we're getting turn meter because of our various abilities or various upgrades. JML and the Outcasts. I like it. Oh, I'm sure they do. I was just doing it to keep, because I really like using JML's special. Plus, I'm sure that special was going to do more damage, since it's a portion of JML's max protection or whatever. All right, more Phoenix, which I don't want to mess with. But we can see what's here at the Wandering Scavengers. So we've got overcharged defense, overcharged tenacity. Let's see what the defense is. Plus 122% defense. That could be very nice in certain situations. The tenacity is the same, 159. Could be nice in niche situations. And a medium stim pack for 20 Conquest currency. That seems like a pretty good one to pick up. I don't know about a small stim pack for 40 crystals. That seems a little high for that. And then at the other scavenger, we've got overcharged protection med pack, plus 98% protection. I assume that is 98% max protection. Overcharged health med pack, plus 122% max health. I'm not sure where they came up with these numbers because they're fixed. So I assumed when I saw that there were all of these numbers, just that the numbers were all somewhat random, that it was going to be random numbers for each head, like med pack and things within a certain range. But no, it's just a fixed number at a certain rarity here. And it just seems like a very arbitrary number. Initial tether tech. Interesting. At the start of the encounter, all enemies are inflicted with ability block for 2 turns, which can't be resisted. That seems extremely useful. And reflexive barrier tech. Gain protection up 15% for 2 turns on receiving a critical hit. We saw that one before. Let me catch up on chat here real quick. Imagine CG seeing the potential in temporary boosts and putting them up for sale for crystals in all other game modes. Oh god, that would be terrible. Yeah, that's true. But there's some other Grievous boosts that are just going to be nuts. I mean, there's so many health boosts that Grievous in particular, I think, is going to see a lot of use. Like just the leadership boost, he gains plus 66% health. I believe it was 66% max health in the leadership boost. I'll check it out later. All right, let's do another refresh here, and we'll go for these separatists. All right. Who do we want to use? Probably Padme again. I really want to see just how far... well, we need to use Jedi teams. That's fine, whatever. We'll just keep going with this team until we're done with it. Oh yeah, there's a specific cup boost. Just all it says is makes useful. I really don't see that happening though. Yeah, the JML special is doing more damage than these outcast characters. So we'll keep doing that. Yeah, I'll slow it down for one of these two. Okay. So yeah, 33k on the special hit there. So we'll keep using that. All right. Let's check some feat progress here. Okay, so yeah, we're starting to count there. And let's make sure all of this is counting for our general feats. Yeah, so have to have a full squad. That is very annoying. No, I should drop the tanks out so I'm at least making progress on that while I'm actually dealing with these feats. Okay. And we'll go ahead and collect some of this stuff. They seem to be pretty generous with the currency so far. Definitely haven't had more opportunity to spend it than make it. Okay. Sith or Resistance. We wanted to go after this medium stim pack probably. I don't care too much about... Well, that tether tech. That could be extremely useful, especially in a boss encounter. All enemies are inflicted with ability block for 2 turns, which can't be resisted. That seems like it could be extremely good. However, a medium stim pack for 20 currency would be good as well. Doesn't really matter too much. Alright, let's see. Grim Machinations, nothing crazy. And Overprepared and Fearless Fortitude, yep. Alright, let's, I want to see more on this. Oh, again, we're just doing feats, fine. Whatever, we'll go back to the Sith. Alright. The Amplify Agony is really good. Let's see, who else already... Whatever. Oh, I missed a... Darn. Oh well. All right. So we got the attack out of turn done. Easy enough. JKR also would have been just fine, but I had JML, so might as well. Okay, and I'm definitely going to go after our initial tether tech. For 8 Conquest currency, that seems like a really good idea. That's true. But we also have a Jedi feat to do, so might as well get them both done at the same time. Alright, we've got 93 more energy to use up here. Oh, double bounty hunters, alright. With Beskar Mando. Or... let's see, do we care about anything over here? Okay, so quickening. Allied unit. Okay, we've already got an upgraded version of that. Insatiable. Allied units gain 14% health steal and 14% defense penetration. That could be nice. And Leader's Resolve, which we already have, and it is 66% max health. And then the other one, we have Protection Recovery. Whenever an ally gains a buff, they also recover 3% protection, which would be kind of crazy with the other one that gives us a whole bunch of buffs every turn. With offensive buffs is the data disc. Vitality. Allied units gain 35% max health and 28% max protection. That could also be good. And then quickening again, which we already have a better version of. Alright, well, vitality or protection recovery seems to be the thing, but I think I'd rather have protection recovery since it only costs 1 slot. So we're going to go ahead and do that. We're going to head for that one. Which means we're taking on Django. We'll stick with this team again. Well, this is a very neat game mode. I am very excited to find out how hard mode is, because this is obviously very easy. But not in an unentertaining way. It's still fun, even so. Yeah, that is actually one of the things I want to find out. Is exactly that. What can JML do at 10% stamina? What can any of the GLs do at 10% stamina? 1% because reasons. Yeah, but I'll use stim packs if I need to. I'm going to do a lot of testing for everybody. I saved up 5,000 crystals for this. Alright, now we're going to go after protection recovery. Get that slotted in. Alright, and now we have a scavenger. It's another one with a bunch of Mark 12 gear. Nothing interesting. Looks very similar to the one in the first sector. So this could just be a standard Yeah, this looks like it's just going to be a standard scavenger store here. Okay, do we care about where we're going out here? Not really. Ooh, we can test out our OG Kylo on this one. So that'll be fun. Okay, Night Sisters. I'd rather fight Jedi. Though, we're playing with our Jedi, so let's go ahead and do this. Really not the most exciting fights ever here. Alright. Okay, we've got an interesting thing up here. 2 different data disk stockpiles and a scavenger. Let's check out the scavenger first, see if there's anything we really need to consider there. Small stim pack for 8 currency. Crit chance booster. Overcharge speed booster. Let's see how good that is. Plus 37% speed for with a max duration of 2. Theoretically, that means you can use it in 2 different battles. Okay, now let's check out the data disks. Debuff Dismantler. Whenever an allied unit gains a buff, they have a 30% chance to dispel all debuffs on themselves and gain 15% mastery stacking. Okay, now that seems kind of crazy. I believe you get to use it twice, but it could be 2 consecutive battles. I do not know. We'll find out. So Debuff Dismantler could be particularly useful with that offensive buffs data disk that we have going on. But we also have Health Recovery. Whenever an ally gains a buff, they also recover 7% health. So combine that with our offensive buffs, and we have also our Protection Recovery. And suddenly we're gaining protection and health very, very, very well. All right, and let's look at the other ones. We have Protection Recovery, which we already have. Upgraded Amplify Agony, so it's 6.6% max health damage when an ally inflicts debuffs instead of the 5.1 we currently have. Or a new one, Decay Turn Meter. Whenever an ally deals damage to an enemy, that enemy loses 6.5% turn meter. That seems crazy good for 1 slot. That seems insanely good for only 1 data disk slot. Yeah, but I mean, it's 100% chance. Think about that with bugs. You hit them and they're just going down to nothing. That's crazy. Okay, well, we're going to go for that one so we can play around with it. And we will definitely get to try our OG Kylo there for fun. I really don't like messing around with the Galactic Republic one. Oh, they're both Galactic Republic, so it doesn't matter. We'll do this one then. And we'll keep going with our JML and the Outcasts. I kind of just want to put this on auto and see what happens. Alright, so that's the thing that we have to be prepared for, is that really, really terrible Galactic Republic modifier where you lose health based on where you take damage equal to the damage that you do. One of the things I'm not sure about that I want to find out here is whether or not that affects the... if that includes the damage that JML's out-of-turn attack does. It appears to me that it is only the damage that is done, that is actually done by the character, not the damage from JML's out-of-turn. Though these things are very, very difficult to... If you defeat the character, they don't reflect damage. Good to know. And at least the character can't be defeated like that. So that's good. Okay. All right, now down here, I'm going to try our OG Kylo against this Gear 13 setup. At 92% stamina. Doesn't matter, we're blinded. I know. All right. Good enough. Okay, so now we want to grab this decay speed and really see how it works. Because to me, it sounds super overpowered. Decay turn meter, sorry. That sounds super overpowered for a one-cost data disk. All right, and we are now at our cap of 12, so any more and we'll have to start replacing things. All right, let's test this out and see how it goes. Oh, look, another Old Republic. Well, we don't want to take off their turn meter. We need them to actually go. I guess it doesn't really matter. We'll do the same thing again. Yeah, right? Exactly. It'd just be pretty crazy. Uh-oh. Oh, I know. I'm not completing any feats with this. I'm not too terribly worried about it. Alright, that got a little closer than I wanted, but... Alright, let's see how this... Alright, so the turn meter reduction was resisted there, it looked like. Let me slow it down. Yeah, so he's resisting because it's Old Republic and they have a bunch of resistance bonuses. So that's interesting. The turn meter reduction from that can be resisted, it appears. All right. Okay, and let's do... All right, we've got enough for one more battle, so hopefully we can test this out a little bit better against something else. We've got Separatists either way. So we can do Grievous or we can do Dooku. Anybody have a preference? Before I jump into one of these, it'll be our last battle, and then I've got to go. Yeah, I would like to try Geonosians, you're right. Let's see. I really don't want to do the Grievous with that lineup. That's going to be such a pain. Even at, well, at flat gear 13, maybe not that much of a pain, but no. All right, so let's do Geonosians here. I want to see what we're looking at. Oh, good point. Let's see if we really need to be able to get up here. All right, we might need to. Okay, so stacking offense. When an ally gains a buff, they also gain 5% offense stacking. That could be huge. Insatiable. Allied units gain 11% health steal and 11% defense penetration. And quickening, which we already have a better version of. At the Scavenger, nothing particularly new except for another initial tether. Ooh, initial frenzy tech. Let's see what that does. At the start of battle, all allies gain frenzy for 2 turns. That's also crazy. So the techs seem to be really, really significant. Yeah, insatiable with a nihilist lead team. Yep, that could be a little crazy. Alright, and down here we have potency calibration. Whenever an enemy resists a debuff, all allies gain 17% potency. To me, that seems like one of the least useful data discs we've run across yet. Another caustic emissions we already have, and another decay turn meter we already have. So I think you are right. We want to go ahead and be heading up here for that stacking offense. So we'll go ahead and we'll do this Grievous team, and yeah, let's see how Geonosians do here. Yeah, that's true. That's true, Taco. All right. That said, I don't know about Geonosians against this team. We could test it with something else just fine. I know a fun one. Let's do CLS. CLS could be really fun for this. Ooh, or Mon Mothma. Let's see with Mon Mothma. All right, we'll use Mon Mothma on a bunch of leftovers. Let's do... And... Let's see. Actually, no, let's drop that. We'll do Pow and Biston, just to add insult to injury, maybe. All right. I know, I remember when they were meta. That was actually probably one of my least favorite times in Arena. I was not a fan of the Wigs meta. Or then the... what was it? Ooh. Got off to a fast start here. All right. Let's see how this goes. The Sun Fac meta was entertaining. Okay, I can't tell if they're resisting or if it's not as effective as... Okay, nope. So it's happening every time, but you can resist. So that's what's happening. Okay, now what about... Well, I didn't want to kill him off. I wanted to watch the turn meter, but oh well. So yeah, they're resisting it, but it does happen on every attack. So you could put a bunch of potency on your characters on a team like this or Geonosians, and you're just going to remove huge amounts of turn meter every time. So that's pretty crazy. Now, one of the things I'm interested in is AoE. If an AoE will remove TM from everybody. I think that removed, or attempted to, from everybody. Oh, that is true. Thank you, Tatko. Yeah, it's a lot of resists. Sorry, I'm drawing this fight out a little bit just so we can see what the resistance really is here. I mean, I guess GG has pretty low resistance. So, yeah, that can... that's a really interesting one. So Geos with that could be absolutely crazy. That's a super interesting data disk. All right, but with that, I am going to have to call it a night. Well, an evening. It is one of my tabletop game evenings, so we have company. But anyway, thank you all for stopping by and checking this out with me. This was a lot of fun. I'm really looking forward to getting into the hard mode Conquest. We will definitely be streaming a bunch of that. I will also probably be streaming some more Conquest for the next couple days. I will try to do it probably every day until we're through with this for now. It's good to learn about all of these different data disks. I'll also try to put up on YouTube at least a little bit of a guide on the data disks that I've found to be the most useful. And I'll try to be back here tomorrow, really for the next week or so, at least until we're through with this normal Conquest. I'll try to be back here every day at about 12:30 Eastern. And we'll get through this. This is a lot of fun.